Morning everyone. Haven't been around for a while, probably a week or so. Just wanted to put a video up this week of a diary of a mute swan. We've had two pairs that I've been following, one in one reserve, one in a second reserve, and we've been following them right the way through from re-establishing their territories through to actually finally having some cygnets. It's been a real roller coaster for me to watching them, because I knew where their nests were. Waiting for cygnets, watching the expectant fathers, watching the mothers on the nests. It's been quite astounding. So I just wanted to make this diary to from sort of January till today, to see to let you know what these guys go through to produce some young. Hope you enjoy it. Cheers, guys. So, just as a quick explainer, there are two reserves in this area, and this diary covers two pairs of swans, one on each of the reserves. On reserve 1, we'd observed 3 cygnets, which, by the time we got to early December, had been abandoned by the parents to go it alone. The time was right for the parents to start thinking about another brood. Within around 3 weeks, the parents had recommenced their courtship to reinforce their lifelong bond. And the male was aggressively seeing off other males. And on reserve 2, another courtship was commencing. This male being particularly aggressive to other males, and indeed anything on the water. There were some particularly beautiful sunrises through the mist in this period. Territories were being aggressively protected. And then, on the 28th of April, on reserve 1, I saw the pair nesting. And all this coincided with the arrival of a couple of black swans. Incredible. They certainly put a couple of the mute swans off, and they moved across to one of the smaller lakes, but they were only around for a couple of days before they disappeared again. On the 2nd of May, on the second reserve, I witnessed the male being incredibly aggressive to some grey-lag geese. By this time, there was a lot of new life on the lakes. We saw Canada goslings, we saw grey-lag goslings, the coots were nesting, loads of ducklings, loads of different goslings. Spectacular times. And then on the 5th of May, I witnessed this heron getting incredibly close to the swan's nest on Reserve 2. The male was getting rather nervous, and I'm not surprised. By this time we'd witnessed a lot of predation. Many goslings had been taken, especially by a pair of carrying crows who seemed to be experts. On the 9th of May, there was a big fight between 3 males on the river. The river is very close to the second reserve. I'm assuming that one of the males was part of the pair that were nesting in the reserve, but I couldn't be sure. In the event, the male that won was very, very aggressive and extremely proud of himself by the end. After driving off one male, he went back to confront the second one. And we still had territory being fought over in the first reserve. Lots and lots of flapping, chasing. One male managed to push at least 3 or 4 others out of the water onto the bank and wouldn't let them back into the water. And those beautiful sunrises just kept coming and coming. So on the 1st of June, on Reserve 1, there was no sign of the swan on the nest. They must have hatched. The male was on its own in the lake, so where was the mother and any potential cygnets? There they are. Now hang on, there's only one cygnet and the mother is looking desperately in the reeds and on the bank. Presumably there must be others. And on the 5th of June, I got my answer. 2 cygnets. Fantastic. Swans will lay up to 7 eggs, so there must have been some predation at this nest. 2 days later, on the 7th of June, on Reserve 2, I spotted the second swan's nest. Our first pair are doing really well with their 2 cygnets. And we had some marvellous sunsets in the second week of June. On the first reserve, the pair of Egyptian geese who started off with 6 goslings now had 3 left. It's the 15th of June and on Reserve 2, the swan is still on the nest. The male keeping watchful guard. And now it's midsummer morning. For 2 or 3 days on Reserve 1, I was still searching again because I couldn't find any trace of the female or two cygnets. I could only find the male. Bit worried. And then on the 29th of June, there they are, still going absolutely fine. But what about our second pair? It's now fully a month after the first pair's cygnets had hatched. I went to search. Made up, absolutely made up. Found my swan pair. 3 cygnets. Absolutely fantastic. I'll mosey around and get some photographs because they look quite relaxed across there. How cool is that? Fantastic stuff. Really wondered where they'd gone. Cheers. I know they're only swans. Well, there they are. Fantastic stuff, 3 cygnets. So there you go, cheers. Fantastic, made up. By the 10th of July, the first pairs, 2 cygnets, are over a month old and they're growing fast. And now it's the 24th of July, and I spot this interloper flying into the second reserve. The male's not going to be happy if he spots him. The interloper looked rather nervous. He wasn't feeding and seemed to be constantly on the lookout. So final video from here. Saw this swan flying in and couldn't work out what and where it had come from, but it was looking nervous. It was behaving really strangely, and it's flown into this main lake. I've just realised, I've just seen here they are. I was wondering where they are, the male, female and 3 cygnets. So this guy is just about to drive off this interloper. Here we go. Well, this young guy's in trouble. He's got onto this lake, didn't realise that it was occupied, and now the male's really seeing him off. But he's basically backed him into a corner around of the lake, and I don't know how this guy's going to get away at the moment. So we'll see. Suddenly, from round the corner, the big male chased this interloper. They nearly collided with the cygnets who had already come up close. The interloper decided discretion was the better part of valour and disappeared as quickly as he could. So that brings us up to date. I really hope you enjoyed this diary, guys. It's been a brilliant 6 months watching these swans. I'm signing off now, so stay safe. If you want to subscribe, great, that really helps. Add me a comment and I'll reply. But otherwise, just stay safe, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.